Welcome to an out of the box playthrough overview. Today I'm going to be looking at Star Wars: The Clone Wars. This is based on the pandemic system, and you basically play Jedi fighting in the Clone Wars. I played one game of this, and this is set up for my second game. So rather than do a full setup, I thought I'd just do an overview of what's happening on the board, play a couple of turns, then you can get a feel for the differences between this and other pandemic systems. This is my fourth. I have the original, Rise of Cthulhu, and World of Warcraft. But this one is great because it's Star Wars. So in this game, you play as Jedi Knights. I'm playing solo, so I'm playing two-handed. So I have got Yoda. There's 7 different Jedis that you can play, so that's a good bit of variety. And you pick them randomly. I've been picking them randomly, so I've got Yoda and Ayla Secura. Each comes with their own great little figure. The figurines in this game is fantastic. And then you play against a villain. There are 5 villains to play against, and the one I'm playing against this game is Darth Maul. So I have a Darth Maul character. In the game, there is threat, which gets increased either through too many droids on the board, Clone Wars, and if the threat gets to the Emperor, game over. So that is the kind of main lose condition. In terms of how the board is set out, when you get your character, there's a whole lot of cards which are the summary cards, and you shuffle them. There's 5 summary cards, you shuffle them, and they tell you the starting position of your planets. When you draw a lot of the cards, they have the map, which is really handy, the board, and the big red dot that shows you where things are. So you don't have to worry about the learning curve of finding out, doing that search to find the planet. The cards really help you in that way. And in terms of the game, there's basically 4 steps. You ready your cards, so you've got a set of cards in your hand. Unlike the other pandemic cards, you don't spend all the cards. A lot of the cards you just tilt them. So you basically, it's like Magic the Gathering, you tap them, and then you can use them. And the first stage of the player's turn is you untap whoever's player it is. So this is my first turn, I haven't tapped any. There are some cards that you do discard for the resources. We'll look at those as they come up. So first thing we do is we untap any cards that we've got. Then each character has, your character that's the current, there's a solo target. The current character does 4 actions. And so on our summary cards, our actions are things like, where is the summary of all the actions? Basically, they move. You can move from one planet. You can attack. If there's droids on your planet, you can draw a squad card for a card for your hand. You can have a maximum of 7 cards at any one time. I think that's the only things you can do. Oh, you can attempt missions. We'll talk about missions in a minute. So move is fairly easily. If I tapped my spaceship, I'll be able to move 2 rather than just 1. When we attack, say I was on here with the Yoda was on here with 2 droids, we would roll the attack dice. And if I rolled the attack dice, I've got 1 hit. I would be able to destroy 1. If there was 1 left, I would take 1 damage. Any damage you take is cards from your hand you have to discard. And so it's a little bit about hand management. If there's cards that you don't really want, you can discard them and you have to take damage. If you run out of cards, that's it. You just don't take any more damage, but you'll have no cards. So you'll be having to draw cards. If I rolled an attack and a damage, I would have killed both of the droids, and I would have to take 1 damage. And so there's quite a lot of choices on our attack dice. We also use that for missions as well. Hands back on Kashyyyk. So we can do attacks, we can do the move. If we are on a mission planet, so when we draw a mission, and that's one way that the game's difficulty is changed, is the number of mission cards that are in there. There is one final mission, the finale, which is attached to the main villain at the end. So every villain has their own finale, but we can only attempt that once we've finished all the actual missions. So I'm playing on Jedi Knight difficulty, which means that there's 4 missions that I have to complete. You can put more missions, makes for a longer game, makes it harder. Every mission then has a token that then tells you which planet you have to go to complete that mission. So we've got the white and the kind of orangey. If we attempt a mission, each mission has a value we have to complete. So if we went to this orange one, we would have to have 7 of the purple, or 7 attacks, and we're allowed to use purple, and we'd take 1 damage when it was finished. If we went to the white one, this one here, we can tap any of these characters to contribute, as well as the dice roll. So we'd roll the dice, and that one I'd get 2 successes. So for this one I'd have to have 7 from somewhere else, and if I completed it I would take 2 damage. If I didn't complete it, I'd only take damage if it was on the dice. Some of these are quite hard to do by yourself, so often you need to get together, get both your Jedis on there, because they can contribute across their tapped cards and other cards as well. So getting your Jedis together when they're untapped to complete missions is quite important. So we have to get through all of those missions, then we'll get a finale, which is based on our villain. In this case is Maul. You'd flip that card. Each villain has its own villain deck, and you shuffle that up, and each turn, so I guess we get back to the stages. So we've readied, we've done our 4 actions. Each Jedi also has their own free action. So Yoda can move another Jedi up to 2 planets in his turn, and Ayla Secura can move 2 planets in her turn for free. And you can do that any time within those 4 actions. So you can either do it at the beginning or in the middle. Once you've done your actions, you then activate the villain. So the villain flips a card, and it either increases threat, changes something on the board, people move around, things happen. And then we do invade planets. Invade planets is very much the pandemic part of it. So we've got an invasion track along the top, and we would draw 2 cards and put 1 droid, 1 battle droid, or little Roger droid on the planet that gets flipped over. And we do that. One of the cards that's in every villain deck is it's basically planetary invasion, and that's where you take the bottom card from the invasion deck. You put 3 droids on that planet, then you shuffle up the cards that are already in the discard, and they go back on the top. And so that's your getting more droids on a planet. If we get more than 3 droids on a planet, we have to put a 4th one. We increase the threat. If we also actually put a blockade, and if there's a blockade on a planet, you can't do anything else till you remove the blockade, and they have a life of 2. Some of your characters, like Darth Maul, he's got a health of 3, so you can actually go in and attack him and move him off the board. But that doesn't happen permanently, because there's a whole lot of cards in the villain deck that will say if he's on the board you do this, if he's not on the board put him back on this planet, usually the top planet, and blow through. And then the last step is invade planets. So we look at whatever's on the invasion track, we draw 2 cards, put 1 droid on each, bang, and that's the end. Then you'd move to the next character and go through that all again. It's very smooth, very easy to run through, and if you've ever played a pandemic game, you'll find a lot of it very familiar. So I'm going to carry on playing. Or maybe I'll do a couple of turns just so you can get a feel for what's going on. So I get to start with Yoda, and he doesn't have very good cards at the moment, but what he might do is he'll do a move. So I'll tap one of my ships. I'm a bit worried about this one. So we'll fly, that's 1. Then we'll go 2. Then I'm going to draw a card for 3. And that's a damage prevention, which is quite good. And then my last action, I'm going to attack the droids. Ooh, and I've got 2 hits and a damage. I'm going to burn C3PO because I don't need that at the moment, but it'll be 4 hits, so that'll kill all of those. I have to take 1 damage, so I can tap that. That'll prevent 1 damage. Yoda's done. That's his 4 actions. Now we activate the villain. So we'll see what Darth Maul's got for us. Darth Maul gains 1 power. So he's actually, one of his things is he's got a power track. Not all of them do. This is special for him. And we'll worry about that in a minute. If he has 5 power, we advance threat. So that's how he slowly gets more vicious. If Maul's on board, return 1 droid from the supply to the box. Oh, that's interesting. So that goes back in the box. So that means our droid selection is getting worse, which means it's more likely that we're going to run out of droids, which then has other implications. And then draw another villain card. Okie dokie. Roll 1 die. And he gets power for the stars. So he gets another 2 power. 1, 2. So he's now on 3. If he's on board, each Jedi exhausts 1 card per thing. Oh dear, so he's going to have to exhaust 2 cards. And that's a bit annoying for her, because that's going to get her card. So that's Darth Maul done. Then we go to stage 4, invade planets. So we're on 2, so we draw 2 of these. And we have a droid for Lucia, which is over here. That just goes on the discard. And Christophsis, which is over here. And that will be the end of Yoda's turn. So then we move to the next player. And she's got those tapped out by Maul, which is a bit annoying. Maybe what we'll do is, she's got 4 actions and she can move up to 2 planets. Why don't we draw a card? So that's 1. And then we're going to go 2. Then we'll attack 3. And that was easy. He's dead. And then our last one. Oh, I should have untapped these actually. First stage, I forgot to do that one. Untap those, and the last one we're going to move there, ready to try and attempt that mission next time. So then we do activate villain. Oh, planet under siege. So we advance the invasion token, and then we draw the bottom card from the invasion deck, and we get Ryloth. And that gets 3 droids. Ryloth, where are you? Over here. And then that goes on the top. And we then shuffle the invasion discards. And we place it face down on the invasion deck. So that goes back on the top. And then that's villain turn done, and now we invade planets. So we draw the 2 cards. And Ryloth. So we can't place one there. So I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to check it. I haven't had one of these for a while. Well, since I played yesterday, put it that way. Okay, so an overflow, well, it's not an overflow, it's called an occupation. Advance the threat and put a blockade. So our threat goes up to 1, and then we put a blockade on that planet. So now we have to get rid of that before we do anything else. Okay, then we draw our second card, and that is a mission planet. So this is a bit of randomness. So that one will go on the white mission planet. And that's my invasion phase done. That will be the end of Ala Secura. Back to Yoda. He will untap. And then he's got 4 things. Why don't he draw a card? And I'm going to draw another card. So that's 2. Then I'm going to go 3. And then I'm going to attack for 4. And get 1 damage and 2 hits. So I'll tap for 1 hit, so that gets rid of all 3. And I'll tap so I don't take any damage. And that planet's cleared. But then he's done. Then we activate the villain. Oh. And Darth Maul is... The current Jedi suffers 1 damage. So I have to throw out a card, because that is my damage. Maul is on the board. Each other Jedi suffers 1 damage. So she can tap that to prevent 1 damage. Oh, yeah, prevent 1 damage to the Jedi on your planet. So that's fine. Okay. So it's Maul. Now we'll do invade planets. We're still on 2. And we've got Ord Mantell, which is down here, which is annoying. And the last one is Annexia. And that is there. The planet's done. Go to Crawler. We will untap. And then think, do I want to try that mission? Maybe draw some more cards. So 1, 2. It's just getting pretty strong actually, because that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She could nearly hit the 7. Okay, so that's another ship. Why not? We'll try the mission. Attempt the mission. Roll the die twice and use the total results. Okay, so we get 1 hit, 3 plus a damage, so I'll prevent the damage. So 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to burn damage on your planet. I can't use that one. No, there's no point, because I can only use purple ones. So I'm going to fail with the mission, and I only have to take the damage from the dice, because I didn't finish the mission. I don't have to take the damage from the mission. Anyway, that's the end of her turn. Now we activate the villain. Place Maul on the planet on the top, so he'll actually jump across to that one, because that's the top planet. He gains 2 power. Gains 2 power. If Maul has, that only triggers at the beginning, so that'll trigger next turn. Threat's going to go up. So that's the end of Maul. We do invasion, and we get 1 in Serrano, which is over here. It's getting busy. 3 there now, and 1 on Rishi, which is up here, which also has 3. And that'll be the end of the turn. And we basically carry on with that until we've completed all the missions, and the final mission, which we flip over, or threat gets to the bottom, in which case we're done. It's really big on collecting cards and tapping those for abilities. Anyway, so that gives you an overview of what's going on. I'll carry on playing this. It might take a while. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thanks for watching.